Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. We are doing good, things are in the positive. And this intersection has been working extremely well. I have seen some backups though. If there's a lot of traffic coming from this way, they all tend to group up on this side right here, and sometimes that can cause some backups with a lot of traffic. But other than that, it's really good. We don't have the lane switching problem over here anymore, and everything is just fantastic at the moment. So what we're going to do in this episode is redevelop this area. We're going to build a new facility area somewhere else on the map. I don't actually know where. I haven't even looked. I just know that we're going to move on from this. And then what we're going to do with the area is create a little bit of a sort of leisure centre or an open area with a particular building in the middle of it. We're going to build the Camp Nou. Yeah, that's right. Barcelona's stadium. I've actually been there myself, and that'll go somewhere in this area. However, it is like nowhere near as big as it is in real life. It would dwarf these buildings right here. So I'm hoping maybe I can find a larger one on the workshop. But I have been going through the workshop looking at all sorts of buildings that we can use. And I'm thinking about over here putting like a load of these sorts of buildings in this area. Now this one is not as tall as some of the others, but I reckon with enough of them we could create an interesting skyline over here and have a built up area. The problem is the cost of this. I mean, that costs 1,280 a week. This is probably where most of my money is going to all these excessive parks that we've been putting just about everywhere lately. And yeah, it's a reason to turn the money off. But I kind of like that the money's there as well. So I'm a bit umming and ahhing about that. But you can see there's a whole bunch of buildings right here. That one is extremely tall. And if we flick through here, you'll see there's a few others, quite a few of them that I found on the workshop. So an opportunity to do something different and interesting over there. But I guess we'll start by focusing on this area. Let's change the time. We have 8 of these in total. Another 2 over here. Those ones will probably remain. And I think there might be just a couple of like random ones thrown down here and there where we've run out. So we need to find like an interesting area, and we're probably going to go and double the size of this. So this looks interesting, right? This is the 8-lane road, and this is the spot, by the way, where I want to build this facility. I think we have to build a couple of things on this island, but I'm going to have a junction over here, bring it over there, and when it came to like picking the roads and the intersection, I figured that we'd build our own this time, try and make it look good, and man, does that look amazing. Now, you might not be able to tell, but I dragged out this bit to over here first of all, and I've also raised it up by 2. And notice how the spacing of this sort of changes, like, yeah, how can I describe that? It squeezes together and it pulls apart, and the sort of distance for the wires stays quite the same. So this second part here is actually drawn after, which means it's technically not the same length as those, yet to me, it looks pretty much like it is, and it's really good. And then over on this side we've got like something similar. Again, it looks like this one over here is wider though, but I like how it looks, and it's been making me think about the heights and stuff, because this sort of looks level, but then it comes out higher over on this side. As you can see, it's like 24, so it's twice the normal height. And then I was looking at this road in the middle and thinking, you know what, that doesn't look very good at all. So this tool right here, by the way, you can right click, and I think that looks relatively center. You can change the strength a little bit and the size. And then if we do... okay. Right, but the road's already there. Interesting. I thought it was going to change the height of the road. Well, let's destroy that bit there now and see if it's flatter, because we can kind of like dig a trench for this and put the road in, and then maybe even bring the whole changes back. And that gives me another idea. Okay, so let's put in the road from there to there. Right, and now you can see it's a little bit flatter, but we had just done some changes. What happens... and what is going on up here? What happens if we click undo? Right, it tries and puts it back, but the road gets to stay where it was. That's brilliant, because I can do a load of modification, put the road back in place, and then reverse it, and then we'd have like loads of like a cut-in slope like this, right? Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. I think that could work out really, really well. Okay, let's mess around with that then. Let's see if we can make this road nice and level. That is absolutely perfect. What a trick that is right there. So I took the height at either ends. You can see 109.5. We had like 108 on one side and 111 on the other, something like that. And yeah, just swept through, changed it all. removed the roads, put it in, and then undid the changes, and now we've got this perfect cut through. That is awesome. We are learning as we go here. We're a fair bit into the series, but we're picking up some good tricks. Alright, that was cool. I wonder if you can have a road going over the top of here as well. Let's go from that side to that side. No. No, but it'd be interesting if you could. I mean, that's just really cool. So we do have the 4-lane one-way, and I don't know what you think about this. I mean, these sort of angles could be good when used consistently, but I don't think they're going to work here. And I also have no idea like where we're going to make the connections, but I thought I'd share that with you. I thought that looked pretty cool. I like the way it all connects, but I think we're going to go with something different. So this was quite big and open, and I feel like it's good the way it curves around. But this one sort of needs to go with that curve, and obviously it connects to the other side of the road. So then I thought about having like an inside curve that then flips around, so it's a little bit more together. Now if we do this, look at the lane changes. This is what's wrong. Yeah, if you want to go straight over, which is what everyone coming up this ramp is going to want to do, everyone's going to be in one lane. So it turns it from a 4-lane road into a 1-lane because of those arrows. So this right here isn't going to work, and I don't think I'm going to fuss this too much actually. I quite like this, so maybe, you know, I'll do the same thing on the other side. As I learn how to do these roads, I can always come back and change them a little bit. So I don't even know what this is about. I thought it was trying to create a tunnel entrance when I was dragging a road up here because, as you can see, I've created a little bit of an island. This is actually really clever. After I flattened out these roads, I decided to raise it all up to the same height, and then I changed a few corners just because it looked a little bit too stiff. Then over here, it started to try and create this, yeah, this like little ledge that you see there, and that didn't work out at all. So we're gonna. Now, how do I get rid of that? Because it's sort of half in the mountain, isn't it? And I'm sure you want to see what I've done for the intersection over here. Not too pretty. I sort of scaled back our ideas and made it very, very simple. I know it could have been better, but there's not going to be a lot of traffic coming through here. And I gave it a shot, but I think I wanted to just crack on with things. So anyway, what I want to do now is actually change the height of this. Let's go with that height right there, 117. Yeah, and just don't go too mad with it. You know, leave a little bit of that height in there and keep it nice and rocky, because a moment ago this entire thing was sort of flat all over and it didn't quite look right. Anyway, what I'm trying to achieve at the moment is like a little nuclear power station area, because we're going to have some nuclear power on the map now, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more in a moment. So it's every YouTuber's nightmare. You go to edit your video and you find out that the audio is missing. And it's missing from this clip. You can hear though that the game sound is still there. There'll actually be a couple of clips later on in this video where the game sound was muted. But anyway, at this point my microphone was muted. It's not been too great, it would appear, for this video. Me and my muting of things. Anyway, I built like this nuclear power station facility, and I think I just talked a little bit about my different ideas for the area, and that I wanted to remove that boiler station and put it on the other side, which we'll end up doing. We'll build a whole bunch of them over there. And I just discussed the layout a little bit and some of the things that I'd done with leveling out the roads using the trick that we learned like a moment ago. And yeah, I don't know what to say now because the footage is rolling, but I can't remember what it was I was talking about. Anyway, moving on to our next clip, we have the nuclear station at night time. And I was just looking at lighting it up, which I ended up doing with a few various things. What we'll probably do is come back in the next episode and I'll just talk over and show you all the little bits and bobs that were going on in this area. After I did that, I started putting some details into the place with a little booth that I found in the assets, and also something for the trains where it has the little, I forget what it's called, the little thing that falls down in front of the train track at a crossing. And I put those two together right on this corner next to this road, and it made a nice little entrance, because I was thinking, you know, the nuclear area has a whole bunch of fences around the outside. It needs a little bit of security, and with that we kind of give an impression of that, although it's not too much. We've also got those big floodlights in there, by the way, if you notice those. Those were something that I discovered in the previous clip. Anyway, moving on to the next one, because I recorded quite a few like this. I've been discussing about putting in some offices over there, and I found two different types. This one was too big, but I like the smaller one over here. And I do believe that they were a part of a set, and that these things didn't cost too much either, so we could possibly use them elsewhere in the city. But basically we wanted some offices for this area, and that's what we came up with. Then moving on to the next clip, this is just me showing you where I was going to build the boilers, and this didn't really turn out to be too interesting at all. I think I messed around with the rocks or something like that, which I'll probably get to in a moment with this clip. There were some rocks that you could plop down in the update, but... So I kind of lost my my groove with this build over here. Flattened out the roads, put down all of these, started activating some of them, and I don't really know what to do with this. So I'm going to leave it alone. I also plopped down some rocks. Yeah, this stuff down here, some of it is part of like a vanilla update that they did. And the rocks look really good at night time. I quite liked it, and I was thinking, yeah, do you know what? We might make the whole side here rocky. And then I turned it to day, and I was like, oh dear. No, so we'll get rid of these. The way you place them down though is really nice. They're very ploppable, and well, that's the term, I think, isn't it? And easy to place down. So they're part of this section right here, which we explored a little bit before, and I never really paid too much attention to this. Well, that one's quite small, but over here you get some quite big ones, and you can sort of rotate them and plop them down. Maybe that's not the place to put it though. Also, I thought that this looked pretty cool, just having one of those along there, even though it doesn't match up with our road. I like how it looks. Maybe a bit of terraforming to smooth out. I reckon you could actually rock that right there. I reckon that would work. Let's put another one on the other side. You could totally get away with that. I might actually do that. I don't want to overdo it though. I feel like wherever we do choose to use these, it's got to be in a place where it totally makes sense. So maybe we'll wait for that. But anyway, I'm kind of done with this now. I haven't really done anything but plop these down over here. We just need to turn more of them on and turn other ones off. So I've just done like 4 of them, I think. Let's turn all of these back on. Right, they're all connected. So now we've got a ridiculous amount of that going on. I'm not sure where you measure it on here, but we can get rid of all of these over here now, and a couple elsewhere in the city as well. So we'll be ready to redevelop this area. We can pretty much do away with the windmills, as well as, of course, we now got the nuclear power. So people are sick. People are sick everywhere in the city, it seems. And even this area, which is brand new, it's going through a little bit of an epidemic. We have a medical clinic here, and it doesn't seem to be doing too much of a difference. I've just upped the budget a little bit, and I think this might be like a sort of irreversible effect. It has to run its course. Where else is it happening? It's not really happening over in these areas. It's in the new areas, and one of those being the ghetto that we have over here. It started in this high residential block that I added, and then it just started spreading absolutely everywhere. Wow, it has literally gotten 10 times worse since I moved like over here and started recording. Wow, that is terrible. I guess this is probably going to hit us hard, and a lot of people are going to die. I've been building hospitals sort of all over the place here. I say all over the place. I built a few of them, maybe not enough or something like that. And we've got a pharmacy here as well, by the way. Something I downloaded. I put a couple of those on the corners here, and I'm not sure if this works the same way if people visit it, or... Yeah, actually, it looks like patients. That's the same thing you have in one of these. So maybe although we've like dropped these in the areas, maybe they're full of patients. 73, that is quite a lot. And I think when you're on top of things, they usually sit around a lower number. I can't remember, it's been a while. And you know what? It's pretty terrible, isn't it? But I'm not too fussed, really. As I've said a few times, I just do the things that I find fun. And solving this problem right now, I can't figure it out. I've thrown a bit of money at it. It doesn't seem to have helped. I don't know if I'm supposed to build a ridiculous amount of hospitals or not. But anyway, we've cleared out this area here, and we should start getting ready to build the stadium. So, the Camp Nou. It is covered in snow. Of course it would be. And while I've been placing this down, working on the little roads that curve around the outside, prepping this area for some details, I have noticed that we are losing a lot of money. That whole problem that I decided to ignore has spread across the entire city and is now hitting us where it hurts in the money. And I don't really know how to solve this now. I'm not sure why they got sick in the first place and why it's spread so far, but I've been putting down some emergency crematoriums, and it actually looks like the areas nearest to those are the ones that are being helped out. And now I think our population might be at a point where it will start to U-turn, but it's a little bit of a game to play here, because now we've got to turn the whole situation around. So I'm going to put in a few more of these emergency crematoriums. The thing is, I don't want to like forget the balance that we had and build too many. So I've put 3 there. I put like one on the outskirts over here. Looks like I should probably put another one. And basically I want to put them in spots where they're on the outskirts so I can easily identify them and go, You know, that's a bonus one, or something like that. And hey, we can put some down next to the Camp Nou as well, because we know that we're building over here. So I've been adjusting our budget. I have been disabling like parks and stuff around the place. I've turned down the park budget in hopes to help this situation. Now here's another spot where we can put a few more extra ones to help clear up the problem. So we're literally just going to build these things everywhere we can. Up here there's some roads on the outskirts. Again, we could probably use something unbuilt on. What about down the end here? Although that's going to be useless because they're only going to be able to go over there. This area. We'll build some here as well. Alright, we're coming close here on the money front. We might peek back into the positive. Oh, look at that! We've just turned it around. Amazing. Also, let's go have a look at our population right here. It's a shame we can't zoom in on this any further because it's about to boom back upwards. And I think the crematoriums have sort of done their job. They've gotten rid of the dead bodies. Now we need to replace them with hospitals. So we're going to turn a couple of these off. We've got 3 extra ones over here. And now put down some hospitals instead. Or clinics or whatever the type that we're going to add is. And see if that helps get rid of the issue. Because over here it hasn't really worked yet. I put down an extra hospital. Maybe we need 2. We're now all of a sudden, you know, making a fair bit of money, which is interesting considering we've got all of these extra crematoriums. I've built a lot of them. But maybe this is the way to deal with the problem, and then in the future just make sure next time we see some of these bubbles pop up that we take care of it before it turns into a disaster. So it'll probably take me a fair bit of time to turn this around, but that's what I'm focused on now. The new camp is just going to have to wait. So the city is booming is literally what I was about to say, and I look down and this is shot all of a sudden down into the red. Man, it just fluctuates back and forth all the time. Yeah, things are going pretty well at the moment. Looks like I need a little bit more electricity. Let's sort that out quickly. Bring these up to 85 and 80. I've got them now, so it's just 5% lower at night time, which seems to be okay. Since I've started adjusting them for each of them, they seem to have come like closer and closer together between day and night, but that might have something to do with me changing the time all the time. Anyway, this is the sort of layout that we're going for here. Some bendy roads, which I don't do too often, and then some other roads sort of going off them to sort of fill in the space and just zoning it out bit by bit. We've got like a small road here with some parks that people can visit in the middle of it all. And we still need to do the details around the Camp Nou, just getting in all of the residential over on this side. There is some commercial in here as well. I could have put more commercial around the Camp Nou, but I've actually been there, and on the one side that it comes up right against the city, there is actually just lots of residential stuff right next to it, so I wanted to kind of keep that going over here. Anyway, we still have like a sickness problem over in this area that comes and goes. As you can see, I've expanded this part a lot, and I think what the problem is the traffic and the speed of the traffic, because the roads over here are small. The traffic has become horrendous over here, and this is something we're going to tackle. Yikes, it is getting to a point where it could become really bad, actually. This is something we're going to tackle very soon, so I'm not going to expand any more over here at all. It might expand itself a little bit naturally. I unzoned a few areas to encourage growth next to the new camp. And yeah, it sort of hit me. We've got all of these slow roads around here. We need faster roads with better traffic on them, which shouldn't be too difficult. I imagine if we add a little road here, this will help. And I thought about this, by the way. So something like that's probably going to help a lot, just because the stuff that wants to go up here and then through this area can now come through this little bit. If we add like a road over here, then we create like an alternative route through this area, which I don't know if they would use or not because the roads are going to be slow. It's something we could try, but let's say we put a little junction from here to there, then they might drive through this part of the city to get over to these roads. But I think they do factor in speed. So anyway, yeah, that should have helped just a little bit. Looks like it's made an immediate effect. And yeah, right, let's get this Camp Nou thing finished up and we can wrap this episode up. So the reality is that I've been playing this for ages, I've run out of time, and I've also just finished triifiring up the area, which I'll probably do a little bit more of for this place. But it's developed really, really well. I love the size of the buildings next to the new camp, and did I mention it before? This is a scaled up size of one that I could find, and you can sort of build like in this area here because the building itself is actually just that block right there. So I can drag like a road right through the middle and it would place there. which we have just done. Now, when I destroy this, you're only going to destroy half of it. And now there's forever going to be a road. Ah, we can select it though. Amazing. Cool. So yeah, the city seems to be doing okay. I haven't checked the vitals for a while. Let's quickly bump up our incineration and water. A few little notches. And then have a quick swing around the city, because I'm not sure how everything else is doing at the moment. I get so focused on this stuff. But I'm hoping everything will be good. I don't see any problems. Oh, up here we've still got sickness. Okay, I never really focused on this area too much, actually. It was the other areas I took care of. This one over here had a real problem. I had to leave one of these outside. So I've got that area up top to deal with. And down here, everything is looking good. How is traffic? Traffic is mental in this area. Mental. Yeah, next to the new camp, by the way, we got some police stations and fire stations. They're the rural type, which is this one right here, which I really like. You can plop down a few of those in the area as opposed to one at one place, which I like. Oh, man, that looks good. We got to turn on the lights here, don't we? I also downloaded some floodlights as well for this. Are the lights going to come on? Does it have lights? I think those floodlights might have been what you needed to add to this. And that's costing us a lot of money, so maybe actually I'll keep that off for now. Yeah, anyway, it's been a fun episode. I feel like we didn't quite get all the things done that I wanted to do. We spent a lot of time messing around with this over here, but I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you so much for the support, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.